So you want to move to Vancouver, Washington, but you're just not quite sure? Well, stay tuned because I'll be spilling the tea of what it's really like to live in the Pacific Northwest. Hey guys, I'm Natasha. I'm a realtor in Vancouver, Washington, and the purpose of this channel is to give you the behind the scenes look of what it's really like to live in Vancouver, Washington. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you subscribe to this channel and just watch me spill the tea. So if you're here, that means that you're interested in moving to the Pacific Northwest and you're not quite sure if you want to move, you want to know more about it. Well, you have come to the right channel because I'm here to give you the inside look behind the curtains of what it's like to live here in Vancouver, Washington. When you move to a place that's unknown, it's kind of difficult to find out the true nooks and crannies of what it's like to live in that specific area. And so I hope my channel will be able to help you to get just that information to help you decide if the Pacific Northwest is exactly where you want to move. Living in the Pacific Northwest as a transplant, I will say that it's a great place to live. However, there's some things that I did not know when I moved here that I know now. And I'm hoping that this video will help give you additional information in your research that a lot of people are not talking about. So let's get started. So number one is wildfires. And as you may know, the Pacific Northwest is luscious and green, and it does rain quite often. And we'll get to that in just a moment. In the summertime, it does not rain, so our trees' soil is thirsty for water. And over the past 5 years, the summers have gotten a little bit hotter. When people go out and camping, which camping is pretty huge here, anything outdoorsy is common here in the Pacific Northwest. So whenever we have people going camping and they want to do their s'mores and their campfires, that results in some wildfires. Other ways that wildfires occur is cigarette butts, or it's just super dry and it somehow catches on fire. So that's something to know, and it's usually in areas where it's very heavily wooded. You will see some wildfires along the highways where it's super hot. People throw their cigarette butts out. So tip, do not throw your cigarette butts outside on the highway, no matter if you are here, there, Texas, New York. Keep your cigarette butts inside because those do actually start fires. You'll walk out one morning and it'll smell like a campfire. That could be a fire that's hundreds of miles in Oregon, hundreds of miles in Washington, but campfires is something to consider. Number two, now this one isn't as serious as number one, but I do think it's worth mentioning that Washington State charges 8 cents for grocery bags. So whenever you're going shopping for your groceries, you're going to the mall, just know that you will be charged 8 cents for your shopping bag. And so the way that I can't say we because I have yet to take a bag inside of a store. So what I usually do is walk out the store with the groceries in the cart and then put it in my car because I do have bags in my car. I just can't remember to take it into the store for some reason. So that's something to consider is whenever you are going shopping here, just remember to bring a bag. And a lot of people have bags like this, little plastic reusable bags. So they walk in with bags like that, or they just pay for the 8 cents and they can rack it up and then reuse those 8 cents bags. They're very good quality bags. So that's something to remember. And it's also in Oregon. So if you move to Vancouver, Washington and you want to shop in Oregon, which is like 10 minutes across the border, they do it as well. They started doing before in Washington, so there's no way of escaping it. You're gonna pay 8 cents or you're gonna bring your own bag. So number three, as I mentioned, rain. It does rain a lot here in the fall through spring. It does rain almost every day. However, it is not like a rainstorm. So if you're in Texas, you're in Oklahoma, the surrounding areas there, it doesn't rain like rainstorm. It's not heavy rain. That's why it's so green and luscious here, at least on the west side of the state, is because it rains quite often, but it's very light rain and you do not need an umbrella. One thing I learned when I moved here is no one buys an umbrella. If you have an umbrella, you're probably new here, you're a tourist.
You're not from around here, are you?
Because it doesn't rain hard enough or that often throughout the day to where you need an umbrella to carry around. So that's another tip. Do not buy an umbrella if you move here. It's unnecessary. It does rain. It's a little misty. It's very light rain. Okay, it's very light rain. It's no rainstorms. It's no heavy rain. You'll still be able to see when you drive. Me, I'm coming from Oklahoma where it rains and thunders. Go thunder. And it will rain so hard there that you will have to stop on the side of the road because you cannot see in front of you 1 feet. It does not rain like that here. It's very light. It's misty. I have an umbrella, but I don't even use it. It's just in case, and I haven't even used it. I had it for a few years. I have not even used it. It does rain here. It's just not as much as you may think, and it's not heavy at all. So moving here, you will not need an umbrella. Okay, so number 3, and I could not put my finger on this one for years. I knew it was something, but I couldn't figure it out until I was talking to someone who was also a transplant, and they put the right words, and I was like, yes, that's what it is. The people here are a bit more reserved. Again, I'm coming from Oklahoma. Whenever you meet someone or you talk to someone in the grocery store, it's like you know them. It's like an instant connection. Like it's just a family vibe, if I can put it into words. It's just a family friendly vibe. Here, they're more reserved. Here's an example. When I first moved here, I'm just used to smiling at everyone when I walk past by people. That's just a normal thing that we do in Oklahoma, at least. We smile at people, and here I remember smiling at people and their face would just be blank, or they wouldn't smile back. So I'm like, huh. That's weird. That's interesting. But again, people here are friendly. You can make friends here, of course. It's just different. And I think it's worth mentioning because if you come from a place where you're more open, you're more friendly with people you don't know, with strangers, and you come here and it's a little bit different, that can rub you the wrong way, or that you can be taken aback from that if you're not expecting that. So I think that's super important for me to mention. I could not put my finger on it for years. I could not put my finger on it for some reason. I just didn't, like, I don't know. It's just the people is I don't know. It's different, but they're just more reserved. Just, it's a little bit different. And I think it's important to mention that, especially if you come from an area where it's more open. So again, the people here are friendly, they're kind, they're open, they're accepting. However, they tend to be a little bit more reserved. And number 5, the bikers. When I first moved here, I moved to Portland, Oregon, and there was bikers here, there, and everywhere. Now that I'm in Vancouver, Washington, and it's not as much as Portland, but there still are bikers on the side of the road. Our lanes here, we have a lane designated for bikers. The bikers, they can be in the road with the cars. They have the right of way. So the way that I see it is they have the rights of a car and a pedestrian. So that's pretty important to know before you come here, is that there are a lot of bikers. They bike in the rain, sleet, snow. They bike all year round, and they are on the roads with you. Not the highways, but they are on the roads with you. You share the road with bikers, and it is a law for you to share the road with the bikers. And the bonus tip is, and I know you guys probably heard about this, but the cost of living, it is a little bit high. Housing is a little bit high. The rent is a little bit high. Inflation is everywhere, but it is a little bit expensive to be here. However, there are jobs here. There are a lot of job opportunities. You will be able to make a living wage, but it is important to know that it is high cost to live here. It is not California. It is not New York. It is not those states, but it is a higher living states. That is something to know before you decide moving. Okay, well, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope these 5 tips and the bonus helped you understand what it's like to live in the Pacific Northwest, Vancouver, Washington, to be specific. If you have any other questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I also have my phone number and my email in the description box. Feel free to ask me questions, and I will be happy to let you know what it's like to live in Vancouver, Washington as a transplant. Thank you. Until the next video, have a good one. Tea time with Tasha, tea time with Tasha, tea time with Tasha. I'm spilling the tea. I'm spilling the tea. For what it's like to live in the Northwest. It's tea time, tea time.